Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, like peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So quick note about my quick note, we've already done that bit. Your key to the week card is the Magician card. So what I want to say to you here is this week there is a chance for you to put a big idea into practice. This is where maybe in some way, shape or form you get to see how something is going to perform. This is where something comes out of that idea of just being a concept and starts to become real. This is something that you are initiating into the world. Now, for a lot of you, this may be something that you're working on behind the scenes, so it's not necessarily it's not necessarily something that's going to be out there, you know, straight away. For some of you, this will be something that you're launching this week, absolutely. But for a lot of you, I kind of feel like this is an idea that you are getting going with. This is something that you're putting into practice. Something something that you are literally making real or making tangible, which I absolutely love. This is you moving along a line of not even inquiry, like you're moving along a specific line of action where something is going to come, not even full circle, like this is you beginning something or bringing something into the fore or making it real, but this is really making it real. Like this is you actually taking those first steps on a very big journey in some way, shape or form. The other thing is as well, remember the Magician card is about power, personal power, and you have this as your key to the week card, which basically says this week, what do you want to do with your power? What are you going to do with that energy just before the sun leaves Aries and moves into the sign of Taurus? As it comes into this last sort of 10 degrees, the sun is offering a trine energy to the sign of Leo. So whether this is your sun, moon or ascendant sign, this is energy that you can use to compound your results. So what are you going to do with this last bit of this wonderful sun trine energy for your actions and options this week? What? Look at that sun trine energy. Oh, this is crazy. I love this, right? So the Three of Wands is about windfalls. It's about luck. It's about taking a gamble in some way, shape or form. And very often it sees you surveying the land. Like, one of the images that I often get in my head with this card is like, you know, like when you see cats like walking, like before they step onto something, they like kind of paw the ground to see, you know, is this safe? Can I do this? Is this okay? That's one of the things that I get from this, and I really, really like this. The fact that it is in your actions and options. This is about what you do, what you initiate. So some sort of plan, something that you've been working towards or on for some time is really starting to shape up for you. I really like this because whatever it is that you start this week, it's like you understand, yes, all right, okay, this is going to take maybe longer than, you know, it's not going to be the next 3 days. It's not going to be, you know, the next 3 weeks even, but it kind of suggests that you know that whatever you are initiating at this moment in time, it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. I love it. For your communications and conversations, you have the Five of Wands. So, I mean, this week, this week could bring up a little bit of conflict. It could bring up a couple of challenges when it comes to the communications. It may see you having to exert, Leo, really, it may see you having to exert your will in some way, shape or form. So your Magician card, that's your will, your power. Then you've got the Five of Wands, which can sometimes be that conflictual energy. And so you combine these, when we look at your communications this week, you might have to put a boundary on something. You might have to put your best foot forward with something. You might even have to kind of, you know, sternly sort of wrap your paw on the table. I think somebody just recently in the comments put put, you know, smacking all four paws down and roaring, and I loved it. It was so, I'm paraphrasing, it was something along those lines, and I thought it was brilliant. This could be a week where you maybe have to do that, where you have to exert yourself over a group, or where you have to set maybe an example or a boundary of some sort, or maybe even be the focal point for a lot of differing thoughts, energies and opinions. For those of you that work for somebody else, I mean, this is really making sure that your voice stands out from the crowd is going to be really important this week. It could also be a week where as well, you know, you are in the... Maybe you're leading the pack this week, you know, it wouldn't be unknown. But when I say leading the pack, this could be, you know, maybe you're the person that suggests, you know what, maybe we all need to chill out. Maybe we need to take this in a bit more of a fun direction. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, I mean, the fact that you've got the 5 of Wands here, the consideration for me is... if you are aligning with a group or you're aligning with someone this week, you just really need to set the P's and Q's. You got to cross the T's and dot the I's. Like, this is the time for you to ask the big questions before you move ahead with something. And, you know, now that that's come up, I'm like, it's got the old noggin working. When it comes to those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, again, this could be a group dynamic of some sort, but it could just as easily see you finding a group of like-minded souls. Maybe granted at first, maybe they don't necessarily feel like, you know, it's almost like you could stumble upon a group this week, and maybe at first you think like, can you hear the horses outside? And maybe you think to yourself, oh, you know, I'm not really sure this is where I'm supposed to be or where I fit in. But there's something about this group that it kind of feels like it is where you're supposed to be, certainly for now. For your money and materials, look at that, the 2 of Wands, right? This is probably one of the best cards for money, right? And the reason being is because this is the energy of conquering. This is the energy of dominion. When you see this card, this is the sun in Aries, where it is exalted, right? Funnily enough, what I really like about this this card is it sees you rubbing shoulders with the right people that are going to help you get ahead. The fact that you've got the Magician card here very often represents powerful people, people in positions of power, people in positions of authority, movers and shakers, people that can make all the difference. There is a connection coming up over the course of this week that could really end up making a very huge difference to you, to your bottom line, to your finances, to your money. This is a card of finances, affluence. It's a card of worldly pursuits going right. Which I absolutely love. But you've got to be bold, you've got to be on it, and you've got to be prepared to walk, right? You've got to move, you've got to walk the walk, you've got to talk the talk. There's no holding back this week. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, you would be looking at your head, your face, and your brain. So just, I mean, not that any, when I talk about your health and vitality as well, just to clarify, I'm not saying that there's definitely going to be something, because otherwise, you know, every person that was a Leo, you know, sun, moon or rising, would be walking around with problems and issues on their face. It just suggests that this is the likelihood. If you're going to have it anywhere, these are the places that you want to look to. And then when it comes to your home and environment, well, look, you know, the 2 of Wands is about the discovery or the alignment with something new. You know, and usually something that's much better than what we have already. Coupled with the other cards, I'm like, yeah, I like this. For your love and relations, excuse me, you have the 4 of Swords. So interesting, because we've got, look, the 2, the 3, the 4 and the 5, even though this is the 4 of Swords, but this is all air and fire. These are complementary elements to start with. There's a lot of fire here, which means action, willpower, desire, drive. All of these things need to be a big part of what you do this week. There has to be a lot of thought, a lot of focus. And with the Magician card, one thing that people don't talk about with this card, the Magician is somebody that is usually very focused and very, very disciplined. Why? You don't get to that top spot, top dog status without having been very, very disciplined in some way, shape or form. So keep that in mind this week. Now, when it comes to your love and relations, For those of you that are single, you don't have to do anything. Right, this week people are just going to gravitate towards you, just the way that Leos like it. Right, this week you don't have to go out there searching, you don't have to go out there pouring the ground and hunting and all the rest of it. The chances are that this is going to come to you, and it's very likely that through a friend, through a group association of some kind, that's likely to be where you're going to meet people, where you're going to, maybe even somebody says to you, look, oh, by the way, you know, so-and-so has a crush on you. You know, it could literally just be that simple. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships, excuse me, or married in any way, shape or form, you're Four of Swords. It kind of suggests that you guys need a break, whether this is a holiday, whether it's a vacation, whether it's a weekend break, whether it's pitching up a tent somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Most Leos are like cringing as I say that, like, ugh. I have a friend who's a triple Leo. I loved her so much, and she was so funny. One day I said, like, oh, you know, we should go camping one day, and she was like, where am I going to plug in my hair straighteners? It's like, it's camping, there's no electricity, but you know, like, love her to bits. Choli, if you're out there and you're watching, you know I love you, babe. But yeah, really, very, like, really wonderful. Like, this really just suggests to me that those of you that are in partnerships, marriages or relationships, you guys need a collective break. So, you know, book it, even if it means just booking somewhere, you know, of a last minute, and it's just down the road. Any time away or out of the humdrum is time well spent. It's all air and fire this week. I like this. I'm really intrigued to see where it goes for a lot of you, because I know what my plans are behind the scenes, so I'm intrigued. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.